Beverages with Brad.
Welcome to Beverages with Brad. I'm here with my guest, Pretty Boy Court, or do I just call you Court? Or?
Either one.
All right. I don't know. Where did the name
transitional change.
Where did Pretty Boy Court come from? It sounds like a wrestler from the 90s or something. Like, where did that name come from?
So Pretty Boy, I've always been called a pretty boy. When I grew up, I was always the one that had fashionable style, and being a light skin in like the city I grew up in was very out there.
Where was that? Where'd you grow up?
Foster, Gloucester. I got adopted. I went there.
Foster, Gloucester. So like you get
no
like
school.
the cheesy, snow jokes, just the
and
corny.
Just know you're out of school.
Yeah, you go to school all summer long, I guess.
Yeah.
And everyone called you Pretty Boy.
Pretty Boy was my nickname playing basketball. I always had to make sure my shirt and my shoes matched on the court and off the court.
Were you like big into Jordans? Was that your thing?
Big time. I was fanatic.
Too broke. I've always been too broke for Jordans. I had one pair of Jordan 2s.
What color?
They were white.
Styles, all white.
They came out when I was in high school. They got re-released, and I bought them, and I felt so cool because I was the only one with Jordan 2s. And then that's it. After that, I could never afford another pair. So
it escalated when I was like, I think it was 10th grade. I bought my first pair of J's, and it was like 100 even. And then a year later, to go buy them for school, it was like 180 bucks.
I don't think I've ever paid $100 for sneakers in my life.
You don't want to.
I'm very cheap.
You don't want to.
I
wish I was.
I like Adidas skate sneakers. These I get them at
Samoas,
Civil.
Yeah.
I get them at Civil, and I get them. I always look at the discount, like the clearance rack.
Yeah.
That's how I operate. Yeah.
I started to do that. Honestly, believe it or not, Savers blesses me too. Like I don't have shoes, but like clothes-wise.
Shout out to Savers. They are not a sponsor of this program, actually.
No, but.
And you got your own clothing brand.
I do.
Not your own sneakers. But.
No, not yet. But
so
this is one of them. It's called I'm Not For Everyone. Instagram is @IN4 everyone. It's pretty tight. It's all t-shirts, graphic tees, hoodies, sweatpants, jogger sweats, beanies, trucker hats.
Where did the name come from? I'm Not For Everyone.
Literally, I'm not for everyone. Like,
no?
I'm not probably.
What bothered you? Seem like a nice enough guy. What pisses people off about you?
I don't know, honestly. That's a good question. I never know. You never know what people really think.
You got one of your friends behind the camera. Maybe he does. When he says he's not for everyone, is there something specific that jumps in your mind? Like, well, people don't like when he does what? He farts in public. Right. So it's not specifically about him.
No.
It's just
anybody.
How you carry yourself.
Yeah.
You don't let other people's expectations kind of bring you down.
I'm not for everyone, that's for sure.
You're literally not, dude.
No, I'm definitely not. 100% no.
Nobody is.
With some people in the audience last night at my show that I don't think I was for them. Yeah, I don't. But
that was last night?
Well, I did a show last night.
I thought that was like a couple of days ago. That's tight. I saw it. You were on a live screen, and I saw like a big back cameo on you. Is that you posted about it? I don't know if it was.
That was in Vegas. That's totally different.
Oh, all right. Where was last night's show at?
Last night's show was in Westerly. It was a fundraiser show. Great show. I felt good about my set, but there was some people there that looked horrified by my content. I wasn't for them.
How bad was it?
No, it was fine. No one yelled at or left. Actually, no, one guy did leave. A guy with a cowboy hat. But you can't go to a comedy show with a cowboy hat in Westerly, wear the cowboy hat the whole night, and expect comedians not to make fun of you. That's kind of our job.
Easy. He wasn't there for everyone either.
No, he was not for everybody, and he did not like our comedy.
Nah.
But enough about me, more about you. How long have you been a musician?
So, music, I toyed around with it like 3 years, Nick, about 3 years. Maybe I want to say toying around 2 years. So 1 full year of solidifying who I want to be as an artist and a musician.
So only a few years.
Year.
So, but did you always like sing around the house and shit? Like,
literally, I was a shower singer, big time car singer. Yeah, I was always the guy that would sing like being goofy. I couldn't freestyle, for being honest. I could never freestyle. Like,
well, you're not really a rapper.
No, I tried to be. I thought it was cool enough to do it, and I wore the big graphic tees, but never fit the prop. So I just couldn't do that. I stopped for a while. I would always sing, toy around with music, do weird notes.
Did you write?
I never wrote. Never wrote really at all. I tried writing like poetry.
Where did this music thing spring up from in the last few years?
Realistically, for being honest, my dad got cancer, and battled that. It's all right, but he battled that for a 6-year term. So I was looking for an escape, like a crutch, like something to mold myself a little bit to find who I wanted to be, and getting back into church too. Like they both motivated me, like to just be unique. And touring around, I found out like I could sing. Like I was like, all right, I could sing.
Obviously a heavy, sad subject, but Your dad got cancer. What kind of cancer?
Pancreatic.
How long ago was it? Oh, man.
Pancreatic. So they gave him 2 months to live, and
When did this happen?
shoot, 8 years ago. 8 years ago. So from 2 months turned into a transition of 6 years. So with all that, it was just like discombobulating. Definitely threw me off, and music
When
was
you
a
hear the
crutch.
word pancreatic, it's like
Dude, traumatizing. It's like, oh man. That's why I'm just like,
awful.
oof. Like,
My
it's
friend's
just,
mom just last year died of pancreatic cancer.
how quick? It's pretty
She
rapid.
lived longer than they expected.
Exactly. My
But-
dad as well. So
Yeah, so
God
he lived
bless.
longer than so you got some extra
Yeah.
time out of
I
it.
definitely did. It was
But it's like, it's gonna be weird, like when
It's
you're hanging
tougher.
out with them, when you know, oh my
Yes.
God, the time. I mean, we were all on
Yes.
limited time, but when you know, like, there's almost, not a date, but almost, it's gonna
like,
be
you
like
know.
so intense hanging out with them.
Yeah,
it must
it
have been
was-
so wild, like, so heavy hanging out with them in those times.
It's
you know?
tough. It was tough because, like you said, like I'm anticipating like when's his last moment, like what's my last thing I'm gonna do. So the way I looked at it was just, you know what, like every day is with a grain of salt, and you gotta literally embrace it. Like it might not be the best conversation you have, but like something is better than nothing. And the shittiest thing was I actually was working the night that he did pass, which is crazy. I got home. He was on hospice at that point, and I got home that night, and my mom woke me up. I got out of slumber. Like, I'm a heavy sleeper too, so I was like groggy. She was like, "Hey, like it's his time." I was like, oh. I was like half awake. I went back to bed. Woke up at 8. I was like, "Wow,
That's
he's already
heavy
out of the
shit.
house." I was like, "Yeah, it was nuts. Definitely nuts. Depressing.
How
my
has
anxiety shot.
she been?
She's been good. She's been very good. She's been very strong. Knock
I was
on
gonna
wood.
say she must be strong. What was
Yeah.
he like? Like, what
He
was
was
he
the man.
like during the period where he got the diagnosis and then he had to go on? Like, what was he like in that period? Because I know me, I am a very pathetic weakling, and I would complain
Empathetic.
and bitch,
Yeah.
and I would freak out. But then you see people that are like so strong through that shit. It's inspirational. What was he like?
Dude, he was literally camaradeable. He was. I don't think you ever heard that man complain one whole time that he was sick. Like I never heard him complain.
Wow.
He was always worried about my sister, about me, my mom. Like he was. So we literally were in a house we couldn't afford.
People like that blow me away.
Literally blows
it
my mind.
makes me feel like a piece of shit.
Blows my mind. I'm like, dude, I feel like a coward. Like even complain about the little things. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I gotta get up early. Like come on, I'm like.
Dude, I could play if they fuck up my coffee.
Dude, literally, I'm like, why is my sandwich not good from BK right now? It's like, come
Well,
on.
first of all, you're at BK. That's your first problem. So while we're on the topic of family, I noticed in some of your lyrics and one of your posts that you were adopted.
I was.
That's fascinating to me. My wife and I don't have kids. We've always kind of talked about the possibility of maybe adopting, and it turns out we can't have kids, so that would really kind of be the only option if we did decide to go that way. So I've never really actually got to talk to somebody who was adopted. So tell me about that experience.
For starters, it's definitely surreal. When I found out I was adopted, it was very overwhelming. I was like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who my parents were and this and that.
How old were you when you were
So
told?
I was 1 when I was adopted. When I was told, it was about 12 and a half.
So
11,
still pretty
maybe 11 and a
young.
half. I
Old
was in
enough
the-
to understand, but still young.
Yeah. I was at the point where I could just like form like obviously my own opinion and like base off like what I knew and didn't know. But it was heavy. It was definitely heavy. It was a tough pill to swallow for a little while. I was really resentful of my parents and
Oh, were you bitter? You were bitter at them.
a little bit, not them like per se, but like, it was definitely a challenge like to like learn how to love them all over again. You know what I mean? Like to all right, I'm not yours, but let me learn how to love you now even more. And I actually do. Like
Did you feel like, oh, you guys lied
Yeah.
to me? Like, was it like when you find out when Santa doesn't exist? You're like, what the fuck was
It
this
was
shit?
like a Santa thing, yeah. It was like a Santa Claus thing. It definitely picked a couple scabs and wounds a lot, and that I have a void in my heart from that. Always being adopted is tough, but if you do adopt per se, the best advice you can do is always be open and honest, and definitely it saves a life. You're definitely saving a life. Like I could have been anywhere. You know what I mean? Like
At what point or what age does a transition happen between being like, hey, why weren't you honest with me, and you're bitter and aggravated and all that, but then at some point you got to realize, holy shit, thank God these people took me in. Like, when did that happen?
I want to say I was like 18, 17. Like I always like was blessed. I knew it, and I always knew like the gift I had was one of a million. Like I actually reached out to my family, like the real bloodline, and my dad rejected being my dad, which is crazy, bizarre. a whole other world.
So you and
yeah.
your adopted father tried to connect, and he said no.
I reached out to him, which is
And he
crazy.
said no.
He's like, I'm not your dad, but I named you. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then my mom, I called her up. I got her number and information. It turned out she's very into drugs, like crack and stuff. So it's very tough. So she was like, she had no filter. She's like, that's your dad.
It sounds like you ended off with better parents.
To say the least, I always say, like, I think God showed me just enough to endure, like, how blessed I really am. And I look at it like, all right, let's take this and run. Like, now let me take care of my family. Like, let me provide for my mom and my sister and whatever else. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so funny. I was never even upset. I was just like, all right, like, thank you. I appreciate that, you know? Like, so if you can adopt, do it. Kill it. Take 100% action on that all day. I tell anybody that and everybody that. Save a life. You don't know what they could go through and not go through, so.
All right, we're going to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yes.
All right, so the zombie apocalypse is coming, okay?
Yes,
And
it is.
you and your team of 5 have to defend the planet from the zombies.
All right.
You get to pick 4 people to join you in this team.
Anyone.
Could be fictional people, real people, live people, dead people. Who is your team?
Who? That's a tell. I thought you just gave me a name. Oh shit, 4 people. I gotta go with Rambo, right?
Oh, it's an excellent choice.
I gotta go with Rambo, right? Like
You're the first
it's gotta
person
be a
that
given
I've asked a
like
lot
that.
of people this question. You're the first person to pick Rambo. Excellent
I feel
choice.
like it's a great choice. It's
Excellent
gotta
choice.
be Rambo.
You and Rambo. You get 3 more.
You're already good, so it doesn't matter.
Literally, he just sets the tone.
Our
Maybe-
camera guy has said that you're like, that's all you need. Just you and John
Literally,
Rambo.
literally.
Taking out zombies.
Oh man. All right, so him.
You get 3 more.
3 more. Let me think. Some fictional. Oh man.
I like how you had to say that as if Rambo was real. You're like, well, now that I've picked a real person, let me pick some fictional guys.
I'm gonna go with Superman because you know that's just a given.
Superman will fuck up some zombies.
He'll do it. He'll do his thing.
Yeah.
Let me think.
I mean, Superman might try to take you out too. I guess he just came out that he's also into dudes. Did you see that on the news?
I did.
If you don't stop picking some chicks in this team, just you
what I'm
guys
thinking.
and the zombies start taking out the women, then you
All
might
right.
have to give
We'll
Superman
go,
some love. I don't
We'll
know.
go Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Throw a little bit of pizzazz.
She'll have the bat and everything.
Yeah. And then we'll go Wonder Woman. 2 girls and 2 guys.
All right, there you go. Boom.
Simple.
That's a sweet team. Zombies are fucked. I think you guys are gonna win.
100%.
I have a lot of faith in this
100%.
team.
I got faith in that squad right there. So.
I like it. Hey, tell them where they can find your music.
So, funny story is.
And by them, I
actually-
mean me too, because I tried to find some of your shit on YouTube. I heard a couple of songs that shout out to Ed Brady. Ed Brady sent me, but I couldn't find it on YouTube or anything. So I was like, where do I find your music?
So that's the funny part. So me and Ed and my team, Pep, Nick, and James, shout out all of them. We actually came together. We're gonna change my music name spelling. So I used to have a 0 in it, but I'm gonna put Court just by COURT.
Okay.
It's in the making. It's in the process. I deleted all my music once my manager Pep got involved. I took everything down. So I literally have like 4 songs out, maybe 5. I think 5.
Well, tell them where to follow you at least.
The
so we can-
Instagram is Pretty Boy Court. Literally
Okay.
Pretty Boy BOY COURT.
Is Court short for something?
It is. So it rounds back to the adoption. So my
Okay.
real name was Courtney,
Okay.
and I've always played basketball court.
So I like the real dad's like, hey, I named you a girl's name, and now I don't want to hang out with you. What a dick.
Dickhead move.
Yeah.
But so that.
He's like, no, I don't want to get a coffee with you, but I did name you a girl. Like
I did.
You ever hear the song "Boy Named Sue" by Johnny Cash?
I feel like I did. Yeah.
Dude, you need if
I feel like
anybody
I
I've
have
ever
to hear
known needs to hear that song,
It's gotta be
it
me.
is you.
All right.
Please
I'm gonna take
promise
that.
me
Johnny Cash.
when you get out of
100%.
here, you're gonna throw up YouTube. You're gonna put a Johnny Cash "Boy Named Sue."
Got my word.
All
Got
right.
my word. I will. Boy named Sue. I'm
And-
gonna rock that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sorry, I cut you off. Go
No,
ahead.
no, you're good. But then the last thing is obviously everybody gets in trouble. I was in court for a couple things. Had my moments with the law, to say the least. That's another story. But so court has just always stuck with me. Pretty boy. So it's just like, why not make a little alter ego of myself and like a little different image? But I don't know. Court. I've always liked the name Court in a weird way. It's like it's always with me, but it's like my name is different now, obviously. So it's interesting. It's definitely cool. But the music is it's on the way. The YouTube is I'm Not For Everyone or Pretty Boy Court. By Apple and Spotify, you can find me by Pretty Boy Court. It might not be through yet, but like I said, I put the transition through. So COURT and Pretty Boy Court. So if you can't find it yet, it'll be there soon. But
Thank you, Court. Thank you for doing Beverages with Brad. Shout out to your cameraman Nick. We'll get a shot of him real quick. Thank you for your work today, sir.
still in uniform.
He's promoting his landscaping. I actually have a landscaping shirt on too. I have my brother-in-law's landscaping shirt.
Was it JFC?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
dig it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Check out his music. Check out his clothes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, America.